People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning in each and every time. It means the world. Now, Molde have just lost 3-0 against Arsenal. Arsenal 3, Molde 0, Molde 0, Arsenal 3. Quickly, let's talk about the player ratings. Now, 3-0, 12 points, clean sheet, no injuries, excluding Louise. Hopefully, it's nothing serious, you know. Can't complain, can focus on the Wolves game. I think everyone gave a good account of themselves. You know, we'll speak about performances. I've spoken about who I think played poor, and I'm not going to get into it, but I feel Runnison, not that he was mad poor, apologies people, a bottle just dropped. Not that he played mad poor or appalling or anything, but there was numerous shaky moments from him, and he just doesn't give you the vibe of a confident goalie, and I think that's one to monitor. Eddie Nketiah clearly had a stinker, way too greedy, snatching at chances, simply put, on the peripheral of things all game, people. That's the best way to put it, simply put. So, yeah, man, let's talk about the player ratings. Doing it a different way where I haven't written it down, and those of you that listen to my live stream, you know I'm probably looking at this a different way. But looking at it now, people, you know, let's start off with the keeper, Runnison. I let him get away with a 5. There's no need to give any lower than that. He weren't really tested, but he did look shaky. He's coming out and he's slicing it. Sometimes playing out from the back. People are getting caught because he's giving them poor passes. You know, I just wasn't confident with Runnison really and truly today. I'm not going to say anything more than that. He gets a 5, but really shaky. I'm going to give Cedric a 6, a high 6. I think he played quite well. I think he linked up. You know what? I might even say a 7, you know. I think his crossing lacks a lot, and it is quite so-so. But actually, and I'm one of Cedric Suarez's harshest critics, as you lot know, I actually think he worked very well with Pepe. I'm going to give him a 7, you know. I think he did all right. I think Maitland can just about grab a 7 as well. I think he did all right. Probably a 6. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'll give Maitland a 7. I'd actually give David Luiz an 8 for the moments he played. I think he was alright. He done everything I wanted to do. You know, he was trying to find players into the channels and whatnot. Fingers crossed he's not injured. So I'd give him an 8. I'd give Mustafi a 6. I think Mustafi weren't troubled today and he was good, you know, really and truly. I just think Cedric had more to do than Mustafi, you know. I think Mustafi gave a good account of himself. Xhaka, I'd give Xhaka a 6. I think he did alright today. Weren't tested too tough. I'd give maybe an 8, but on reflection, without emotion, I'd give Joe Willock a 7. I think there was a period he was kind of poor in the second half of the first half. You know, second half he was involved in 2 goals. He played a storm. He could probably get an 8, but I think a 7 is the right result. I think Joe had a good game. Pepe, I give Pepe a 9. I think he had a very good game today from start to finish and deserved his goal. For Reiss Nelson, I'd give Reiss Nelson a... Gave Joe a 7. I give Reiss Nelson a 7 as well. I think he looked lively from start to finish. Just needs to fine-tune that end product. Took his goal well. Easy finish, but took his goal well. Think he deserves a 7. Eddie Nketiah, I give him a 4. I think I'm trying so hard to give him a 5, but they're just too snatching at chances on the peripheral. For me, it's mainly the greed. Like, there's players in obvious better positions, and you just know when someone's playing for themselves. I don't think Eddie played for the team today. He played like a man that knew if I score, I might get more opportunities, and he was just me. He needs to be more selfless in that regards. Lacazette can scrape a 5 purely because he was a bit bright in the first half. But again, you know, it's the same old in Lacazette's case. You know, snatching at chances, holding on to the ball, decision making quite poor. Playing like he's playing in a cage at times, really and truly. But none of them really, you know, for them two who didn't play in the last game really or start, none of them really done anything to say to Arteta, yo, you need to put Aubameyang back on the left and me through the middle again. For what it's worth, Balogun, obviously he weren't on the field long enough, but I'll give to really give a rating. But I'll just give him a special 10 for being a Haylen lad, and he scored with his first goal, and it was written in the stars. So big up young Balogun for that. Smith Rowe, I think within the minutes he played, really he wasn't on long enough to really judge. It'd probably be a 5 or 6, but I'm going to give him a 7 for that assist, and you know, he's had a tough time. You know, maybe a 6 it'd be a 6. I'll give him a bonus point, so a 7. Holding, I'd give him a 5. He did alright. Ceballos the same. Tierney, I'd give a 5 as well. He was involved in the last goal. Forgive me if I'm wrong. It's a shame we couldn't see Ben Kochua and Miguel Aziz, but hopefully with qualifying now, we will see them. And maybe even a Balogun start. I don't think Aziz, Kochua and Balogun are all going to start, but I want to see more Haylen players. And, you know, I want to see a bit more. I look at people like Kiddo Taylor Hart, people like Charlie Patino, you know, people like Amari Hutchinson, you know, even George Lewis, who just got signed and is injured. That people that I think has been performing relatively well at younger levels. Can they get opportunities and looks in sort of thing? It's a shame that Saliba's not registered because he could have got some minutes, if not any. I know he's been linked with St Etienne, but it is what it is in that regards, people. I'm going to get out of here. It's a pleasure, but I'm going to get out of here. DG.